Are you struggling to find common ground in marriage? Are you having difficulty finding that compromise? Stay tuned, I'd love to help you out. Hi folks, Pastor Andy Lake here, Lake Family Counseling. People have this misunderstanding that marriage is a 50-50 relationship. It's not a 50-50 relationship, and I'm going to do the best that I can to help you with that. So let's switch things up real quick with the video. All right. Too often the approach to marriage in modern day society is this idea of things being 50-50. The proposition of it being, you have to give a little in order to get a little. This is where things really start to mess up. We want to try to compromise and things like that. I understand the idea behind it, but I believe it's actually very detrimental. The root of the idea of a 50-50 relationship is detrimental to marriage. Let me see if I can illustrate this for you. Let's take, for example, marriage is essentially this. You have a man and a woman, two completely different people, and they are on their own path. They're walking their own road. They're living their own life. They meet and they decide to join together. They come together to join in this path of life. Now, no longer do the two travel separate roads from this moment on. They instead give up their road, they give up their independency, and elect to join on a road that is meant for the both of them. This is why it's so important for us to get marriage right. We need to understand what's going on. The two roads have now merged and they have become one. The Bible refers to it as the two becoming one flesh. And so somebody might say, well, Pastor Andy, you see, right there is a perfect example of this being a 50-50 relationship. You see the compromise there. Well, no, it isn't. It is not his path that she's come along with or her path that he's come along to. Rather, it is a new and untraveled road. This is their path. Now, you may ask, so what about conflict decisions, etc., things like that? Shouldn't that be 50-50? Well, let me continue to illustrate this for you as best I can. Let's not even worry about the conflict decisions as much, conflict resolution, decision-making processes. Let's not even worry about that so much at the moment. Let's just talk about everyday life. You see, let's take, for example, let's say that he works outside the home and she has decided to stay home with the kids. This is a decision that they made together. They went into it with their eyes wide open, and they were happy with the decision when they made it. It was not a matter of he telling her what to do or vice versa. And this decision was great at first. Then he comes home from a difficult day at work. He's been at work all day, she's been at home all day, the kid's been driving her crazy, the boss has been driving him crazy. And now she has not even had time hardly to sit down, but she found the time to make dinner, to clean the house, to pick the kids up from school, help them with their homework. He comes home to sit down to dinner, then he proceeds to sit down and watch the football game while she puts the kids to bed. And what goes through her mind is, I never get time to sit down to a football game. Why should he? This is supposed to be 50-50. Where is he in helping me with this, right? And so you see, here is the 50-50 problem. And so she has done all of the shopping, she's done all of the work, she's done everything that she can to keep up with everything. And so she feels that she has kept up her end of the bargain. She has come her 50%. Where is he in coming with his 50%? And so she's done all the cleaning, all the cooking, all the shopping. He went to work and gets to come home and just have the evening off. How is that fair? I would not completely disagree that it is unfair, but the issue is not in the fairness, rather in the expectation. Let's make the scenario a little bit different. Let's keep going with it. Let's say that he went to work, had a horrible day, the boss was on him, customers were a pain. He comes home, sits down to dinner, she's prepared a wonderful dinner, he is so thankful, he gets up, he does the dishes, but after he's done doing the dishes, he sits down and then he watches TV while she puts the kids to bed and does everything else. So maybe he didn't do his 50%, but he did his 25%. Well, again, the issue is the unfulfilled expectations. She expected the 50%. She gave her 50%. Where is he in giving his 50%, right? Now, some will try to correct this. And they'll say, okay, all right, so it shouldn't be a 50-50 relationship. It should be 100%, 100%. Both sides willing to give 100%, then all the problems are solved. And so if I give 100% and expect 100% from my spouse, I'm still having a problem here. Let's examine this problem, because either way that 50-50 relationship issue can happen. Either way, it could be him giving 50 and her only giving 25. But let's move on with this 100% issue. Let's say the wife sets out that she is going to give 100% every day. The husband sets out that he's going to give 100% every day. Both are very pleased. Everything's working great, right? Well, then, one day, after a couple weeks, the husband's job gets more demanding, and he's spending more time at work. And so when he comes home, he's really not interested in helping with the dishes like he used to be. However, the good wife that she is, she's still willing to give her 100%. She continues to do that, and he's only giving his 25%. This is where things start to rub a little bit. She continues to do what she's supposed to do, and he's not giving quite as much as he used to. Eventually, the husband's job gets even more demanding, and he's spending more time at work. She's coming all the way now. She's not even, he's giving maybe 10%. She's having to do 90%. She's moving all the way. Again, here's the problem. Once again, folks, unfulfilled expectations. She's expecting him to come, but she's having to do all the work. Now, she's still going to do her commitment. I made a commitment. I'm going to do this. But the bitterness and the anger starts to seep in because he's not doing anything that he committed to doing. And so, all right, 50-50 doesn't work. 100-100 doesn't work. So what's your solution to this? Well, this is how we avoid it all. 100-0. Now stay with me on this. Please stick with me to the end of this. This may surprise a lot of you, but simply 100-0. That's right, I actually said that. Both parties willing to give 100% and expect 0 in return. Now people really struggle with this one. So you expect me to do all the work and them do nothing? Yes. Now hear me out. When I enter into a marriage relationship hungering and thirsting to show love to someone, then I enter into it correctly. The problem with most marriages is we look at the other person as the one who is going to be there for me. They are to complete me. But when we enter into marriage, we should enter into this union with the mindset that I am going to serve them for the rest of my life. This is who I want to love. Love is an action. It's something that we do. We're not talking about warm, fuzzy feelings inside. We're talking about a conscious decision to do something for someone at the expense of ourselves. When I give a gift to someone, it is a gift not expecting anything in return. Otherwise, it's a trade. This whole idea, they got me a Christmas gift, I have to get them a Christmas gift. That's not love, that's an exchange. But to truly give a gift with no expectation in return, that is love. If I'm willing to give 100%, no matter how far I have to come, and I expect 0 in return, I'm never disappointed. You see, disappointment is basically this. The result of unfulfilled expectations. If I had an expectation and they didn't fulfill it, then I am disappointed. Now the beautiful thing about this, no unfulfilled expectation, is that there's only blessing. And so, for example, if I'm willing to come 100%, she's willing to come 100%, and we meet in that middle, there's that 50% mark, right? We meet in that middle, then we're both going to be blessed because we didn't have to go 100. We met in the middle. That was a blessing. But let's say that maybe it wasn't 100%. Maybe she only made it 25%, but I still had to go 75%, whatever that necessarily may be. But look, that 25% is still a blessing. Even if they only made it to, say, 10%. Maybe they didn't make 25%. That 10%, that 5% is a blessing. But if it's a really bad day for them and they give nothing, I'm still not losing out on any expectations. I'm not disappointed because I planned to go 100. Believe it or not, there are going to be days in your marriage where the other person is not able to do anything for you. Wake up to the reality. It's not a matter of what can they do for me, it's a matter of what can I do for them. This is where we've got to get things ironed out correctly. And so somebody might ask, okay, well, that's not possible. How in the world is that even a possibility? Some people may say there's absolutely no way possible. A husband and wife can't live that way. There's nobody who's able to give 100% and expect nothing in return. Jesus said this, apart from me, you can do nothing. And so without the help of God, you're right. You can't. When Jesus came, he came to do something for us that we could not do ourselves. And he came to empower us. In Romans chapter 3, the Bible tells us that there is none righteous, not one. There's none that seeks after God. They've all turned aside, gone their own ways. How do we equate that to marriage? Understand what Jesus did for you. Jesus came 100% of the way. It says no one seeks after God. He came to us. And so if this is the case, if this is truly the case, then we need to follow the example of Jesus. He didn't wait for us to meet him in the middle. He didn't go part of the way. He didn't go all the way and then back off and expect us to keep things going. No, he came all the way. Now, we are called by the Holy Spirit of God to follow Jesus. This is Jesus' call. He never said, repeat this prayer. He said, follow me. So if I'm called to follow him, and then Romans chapter 8 even says that I am to be conformed to the image of his Son. If this is the case, then I need to pattern how I enter into the marriage relationship after the way Jesus entered into our relationship. Jesus came 100%, and what does he get in return? Not much. And there are many times where he still is coming 100% and I'm sitting off to the side. See, we are called to do this. We are called to die to ourselves. As a husband and as a wife, we are called to love the other person irregardless of ourselves. And so how do I love the other person this much? Well, simply put, I follow Christ and I do what he does. I learn more about him. I get closer to him. The closer I get to God, the better husband I will be. The closer she gets to God, the better wife she will be. And this is where we have to get things together. And as a couple starts to move closer to God and they make their way toward him, they get closer and closer to him. If that is truly the goal, that the husband and the wife both start to move closer to God, what you're going to find is the closer she gets to God and the closer he gets to God, they naturally start to come together. The closer she gets to God, the closer he gets to God, guess what? They get closer together. It's a natural thing. It doesn't not happen. And so as this takes place, they commit to doing everything that the Lord asks them to do, which they start to die to themselves. It says, husbands, love your wives. Wives, reverence your husbands. And this is something that happens because I'm getting closer to the Lord and I'm willing to do more for them and expect nothing in return. Now, understand something. This, you may be looking at this going, well, I don't really buy into the whole Christianity thing, so I guess I'm out. No, this will still work. It will still work if you're not a Christian. It can. The principle of loving one another 100% and expecting nothing in return, that will still work for someone who is not a believer. The problem is that you're going to be doing it in your own power and in your own strength. And believe it or not, you're going to get tired of being the only one doing all the work. You're going to get tired of whenever they aren't giving their 5%, you know, when you're the only one giving 100 and you're always getting nothing in return. But when we rely on the strength and the power of Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit indwelling us, then things start to get a little bit easier because I'm not doing it in my own strength. I'm doing it in the strength of the Lord. I don't know if that helps you or not. I hope it does. I pray that this was an encouragement to you and a blessing to you. If we can be a help to you in any way, please let me know. Reach out to me, lakefamilycounseling.com. If it's not a matter of counseling that you need, you just need a group of people to love you and to help you get closer to the Lord, come on out, Buckingham Baptist Church, BuckinghamBaptistChurchFL.com. I hope to get to see you all soon, and let us know if we can be a blessing to you in some way.